Hello, friends and participants. Welcome back to the ODL Entrepreneurship class, lesson number 3. Happy Salah to all our Muslim brothers and sisters all across the world. I wish you a happy celebration. And today being 12th of August, also my daughter's birthday. My daughter is 10 today, so I want to wish her a happy birthday. Thank you so much, and let's get to class. Today is going to be very interesting as I will be looking at a very important topic in this lesson number 3. Join us in class as we kick off today. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, friends and dear participants. I want to welcome you back to the Entrepreneurship Strategies class. This is lesson number 3. This lesson promises to be very, very exciting as we'll be looking at quite a number of outlines, 5 in all. Now we'll be looking at the entrepreneur and creating the company strategy, promoting the business, human resource development plan, employee engagement, communicating with the client. Now these are the this is a nice picture of what teamwork in entrepreneurial business planning looks like. This is what I've just come up with. It's a lovely picture. Now it just gives me an idea. Now in this lesson we'll be driving at achieving some overviews, and these are just the overviews, a few of them, not in any particular order. I'll just mention understanding the customer, strategic positioning, strategic planning, also look at positioning in the market, the role of online environment for entrepreneurs, human resource policy and program, personnel workflow management, conflict management. We'll also be looking at motivation, especially for the employee, and also employee performance evaluation. We'll also look at methods with which we can attract potential customers, customer loyalty, customer service policies, customer care, and generally managing complaints. Now, going straight to the first outline, which is the entrepreneur and creating the company strategy. Now, I would like to say that company strategy is the main focus, or the business strategy is focus. Now, at the real world level, my favorite quote, my favorite how will I put analogy is the strategy is like driving. Now, most drivers believe that they are better and really good at it, better than others most times. Now, you notice if you're a good driver and you sit on the passenger seat, you tend to see most of the excuses of the driver and think, I think I can drive better, until you are right behind the wheels. Now, it's simplifying, doing today what will seem obvious tomorrow is genius. Now, the best strategy seems obvious as soon as you understand them. Furthermore, it seems to me that if they don't seem obvious after the fact, they didn't work. Strategy has to be easy to define. Now, I'll say that again. Strategy has to be easy to define. You can also define strategy with a simple summary, a story, or a small collection of stories, which I'll also explain here. Now, I'd like to also move on to your business strategy. Now, part of the business strategy, we have, in a nutshell, we have 4 major things we want to achieve. That is the problem you solve. Then we're looking at the strategy. What problem is your business driving to solve? And what are the solutions that you are preferring as an entrepreneur? And what markets, in what market or in which markets do you intend to push your products? Now, what is your business identity? Why us? Why me? What is your identity? Now, looking at the problem we solve, people don't want to buy a quarter-inch drill. Now, the reason is that they want the quarter-inch drill or a quarter-inch hole. The reason you want a quarter-inch drill is because you want to drill a quarter-inch hole. So, rather than give people a quarter-inch drill, why not you give them a quarter-inch hole? If possible, you can give them a quarter-inch drill and a quarter-inch hole, so that when the hole you've given them is exhausted, they can also reproduce their hole. Now, your solution to that problem is your product or your service. Now, focus on the true desire, the desired end result of your customer, the whole tool, not just the drill. Now the market, your identity influences your choice of target markets. Keep your business focused on specific target markets. Now, will you want to sell drills to people who work in the water? Will you want to sell drills to people who work in the market? Will you want to sell drills to people who work in construction industry? Now, your target market also is important here. Now, every business has its core identity. Who are you? And how are you different from others? What are your strengths and weaknesses? What do you bring to the table that others don't have? These are a few things that you have to look at as you seek to deliver solution. Now, we'll also look at 6 simple steps to deliver an effective business strategies. 6 simple steps to deliver an effective business strategies. Now, the first step is 1, gather the facts. What are the facts that you need? What are your facts? What are your facts? Now, your fact, look at each area of the business and determine what worked well, what could have been better, what opportunities lies ahead, and you should look at also internally at your strengths and weaknesses. What are those things that are your strong hearts? Involve the right people. Now, putting square pegs in square holes and round pegs in round holes. Now, develop a vision statement and develop a mission statement. Now, you may want to ask, what is a vision statement, or how does a vision statement differ from a mission statement? Your vision statement, this is a statement that describes the future direction of the business, and it aims in the medium, and its aim in the medium to long term. It's about describing the organization's purpose and values, medium to long term. Now, your mission statement outlines your primary objectives, the primary objectives of that business. This focuses on what needs done in the short term to realize the long-term vision. Now, what you need to do now to realize a long-term vision. Let's look at it again. What needs to be done now to realize a long-term vision? Now, for the mission statement, you want to ask a question. What do we do? How do we do it? Whom do we do it for? What value do we bring? Now, these are questions you need to ask yourself in developing a mission statement. Now, number 4, identify strategic objectives. Now, the aim is to develop a set of high-level objectives for all areas of the business. Crucially, your objectives must be SMART. Your objectives must be, in other words, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-related, not just open-ended. Now, tactical planning also is important. This is translating the strategic objective into more detailed short-term plans. Now, this is basically breaking down your strategies into short-term plans and short-term goals. Now, focus on measurable results and communicating to stakeholders what they need to do and when. Number 6, we'll look at performance management. Now, for whatever we do, or for whatever you do in your business, it's always important to have a time to look back and see, how have we performed? How have we done? How have we done in this task? Was this task complex? Was it easy? Which is why many directors, managers, and business leaders are looking at alternative methods of handling strategies. Now, we need to monitor and manage the whole strategy as a complex task. Creating, managing, and reviewing a strategy requires you to capture the relevant information, break down the large chunks of information, plan, prioritize, capture the relevant information, and have a clear strategic vision. Now, this is very, very important in strategic business management. Now, we'll look at the next outline, which is promoting the business. Promoting the business. Now, success in business breaks down into 2 simple things. 1, can you supply something that people want? That's what can you bring? What are you bringing to the table that the market needs and that they are willing to pay for? Do I have something valuable that the market needs and are willing to pay money for. Now, the second thing is, can I get my offer in front of those people? Now, many a times we have people who have businesses, who have little small businesses in their homes, started from their home, from their garages, making, for example, making beads, making shoes. Now, they make a whole lot of things, but ironically, they make beautiful items, beautiful products, but they don't have the market for it, or they can't seem to find the market for it. Now, a smart entrepreneur keeps them in their locality, picks their products because they have no market for it. It becomes very, very, very cheap for them to just keep, okay, let me just discard what I have. Now, a smart entrepreneur could pick, or a business person, let me not say entrepreneur, pick the materials or the products that this person has made and has no market for, picks them up at very cheap prices, takes them to an identified market, and sells them for probably 400-500% profit. Now, that's as important as promoting your business can get. Now, promoting your business, identifying the markets, getting them in front of the people who need them. 9 times out of 10, people start a business because they are capable, they are competent, or even brilliant at the first place. They don't know their industry, and they are able. They know their industry, and they are able to supply what people want. Now, the second part is where things get tricky. How do you get your offer in front of the right people? In other words, how do you promote your business? Now, here are 7 ways to promote your business. Just outline them. You can read them up or look them up online. Now, we have digital marketing here. Now, use the 3 big local listing services. The 3 big local listing services. Embrace social media. Start a blog. Put up multimedia on YouTube and Flickr and other sites. SEO your company websites. Issue out press releases. And join a relevant online community and contribute. Now, where this is important is joining a relevant online community. For instance, we have several communities online. There are several communities. For business communities especially, you have a certified hackers community. You have several digital and online marketing community online. You have online shopping community online. Now, several things. Just look it up. Join the communities, gain or get to understand their methods, and also contribute. Now, if you want your products to be out there, you first of all have to be out there. Put yourself out there. Put yourself in the faces of the market. Now, going on to our third outline, which is human resource development plan, or human resources development plan. First of all, what is HRD? What is HRD? Human Resources Development is a framework for helping employees develop their personal and organizational skills, knowledge, and abilities. HRD, which is Human Resource Development in short, is one of the most significant opportunities that employees seek when they consider you as an employer. Now, before you can employ someone, I'm looking for some values in that person. I'm looking for the abilities. I'm looking for what that employee brings to the table, and all employees need encouragement. Now, to continue to develop their skills, help you to retain and motivate employees. The focus of all aspects of human resource development is on developing the most superior workforce, so that the organization and individual employee can accomplish their work goals in service to customers. This is very, very key and cannot be overemphasized. Now, internal training, which is also a key for human resource development, cannot be overemphasized. Now, there must be a balance. Management training development helps to develop employees' strengths and their abilities to contribute in organization. A variety of management training is available to organizations. Choices are endless. Now, the management training can include, but are not limited to, internal supplies, customized for your company, management development sessions. Your option for management development and employee training are limited only by your imagination. In other words, they are endless, and by the imagination of your employees. You can try out various options to find out which works best for your organization. Now, when you approach providing internal training, a recommended way to offer the development sessions is to have a facilitator or a presenter meet with your employees in a group weekly for a 2-hour training session. These sessions can last for several years, although you will want to limit frequency over time. Now, we'll also look at high employee engagement. High employee engagement is very, very important also, and is also something that cannot be an area that cannot be overlooked. Now, how often do employees or employers engage their employees? Now, employee engagement is a fundamental concept in the effort to understand and describe both qualitative and quantitative the nature of relationship between organization and its employees. It is what is high employee engagement? Employee engagement is a workforce or workplace approach resulting in the right conditions for all members of an organization to give of their best each day, committed to the organization's goals and values, motivated to contribute to organizational success with an enhanced sense of their own well-being. Now notice, an enhanced sense of their own well-being. Now, and what are the benefits of employee engagement? The benefits are endless. The benefits are endless. Engaged, motivated workers have higher employee satisfaction, which leads to enthusiasm in their role and overall company growth, in the form of a higher retention and lower turnover, higher productivity, increased profitability, less absenteeism, and increased employee loyalty. Now, you find employers are not waking up in the morning and dreading going to a job they don't enjoy. They're not waking up in the morning and hating working with a boss or with employers they don't enjoy, but rather they are excited to get up in the morning to go to their work because they enjoy, first of all, what they do, and they are encouraged to do what they do. There is that enthusiasm with which they do their jobs. So still continuing in that pattern, we have benefits of employee engagement here. We have supportive co-workers. We have job and career satisfaction, credible leadership, committed employees. Now, the blue arrow at the top are the inputs. That is what the employee or the employer puts in. The employer gives in credible leadership, gives in supportive co-work, gives in job and career satisfaction, puts in high performance organization, and what comes out of it is an engaged workforce that has committed employees, high performance workforce, productive and profitable organization, and satisfied and loyal customers. Now, the fifth and not the least on our hardline is things HR can do, or 5 things HR can do to improve employee experience. 5 things HR can do to improve employee experience. 1, treat employees as customers. Marketers use customer experiences as a numeric for a good reason. It tells them what a customer wants and helps them to introduce strategies that will attract and retain customers. The bottom line, a customer-centric approach to HR requires you to manage your employees' interaction within the organization to ensure employee satisfaction. Unhappy customers are unproductive, so an engaged workforce is a business priority. Now, number 2 is a focus on the bigger picture. Employees increasingly expect organizations to provide a seamless employee experience from hiring to retiring. The intensive effort that goes into interviews, onboarding, orientation, and training can no longer be allowed to fizzle out once an employee becomes an established member of the team. Now, there is a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement that goes into the process of bringing in the employee on board. Now, it is important to make sure that this does not fizzle out once the employee becomes an established member of the team. Now, If anything, it becomes more important to support an employee once they establish themselves as an important asset. Your workforce is your greatest brand asset. To ensure that they are happy, engaged, and content at all stages of the employee life cycle is key to the future of the business success. Now, develop your employee brand. Develop your employee brand. The reason we say this, we have looked at developing your business brand or developing your brand as a business. Now, if you do not develop your employee brand, it's as good as not developing your business brand. So, looking at the big picture, but starting small, we have to develop the employee brand. Now, the strength of your corporate brand will dictate whether you can impress talented individuals before they even think about applying for a position. I'll take that again. The strength of your corporate brand will dictate whether you can impress talented individuals before they even think about applying for a position in your company. First impressions are as important for organizations as they are for individuals, so cultivating your online brand and your business brand is a necessary in a digital world. A surprising 69% of survey respondents will not take a job with a company that had a bad reputation, even if they were unemployed. So the reputation of your presence really matters. The reputation of your presence really matters. Bottom line, employee experience doesn't start when an employee signs the contract. It needs to be an inherent part of how you engage with prospective employees. Now, our fourth point, focusing on the experience that you offer. Organizations that don't offer a simple and pleasurable experience are going to struggle to engage and retain top talent. The power lies in the hands of employees, so it is all about cultivating a culture and an experience that encourages employees to want to stay with an organization. Giving your employee a great employee experience is the simplest way to give yourself a competitive advantage in terms of your ability to attract and retain top performers. An engaged workforce will give you increased productivity, but the real benefit is the human capital you will gain if you establish yourself as a great place to work. Last on our list, build a workplace for the future. Building a workplace for the future. Now, one of the challenges facing organization is to adapt to disruptive technology and to increase an environment or to create an environment that will attract digital narratives like millennials and Generation Z. Using technology to develop employees is better work life. So using technology to give employees a better work-life balance is one way to improve this experience, whether it is through working remotely or through flexible hours. That's working from home or flexible hours. Building an experiential workplace also requires a continuous loop of communication and a greater focus on individuals, including their goals and needs. Self-service HR are created in softwares now, which offers employees the means to give increased feedback and allows them to chart their personal development with ongoing managerial inputs. Bottom line is, the challenge facing HR is to develop an environment that can offer a positive employee experience, a culture that will support it, and a strategy to provide it for existing and future employees. Moving on to the last and not the least on our course outline, which is communicating with the clients. communicating with the client. This diagram here shows us a few ways to keep communication through print media, using the internet, having a calendar to keep your appointments so you don't miss appointments, mobile telecommunications, one-on-one communication, reaching out, mails, and having field reps. So these are just a brief pictorial description of keeping communication open with the clients. Now, this is another beautiful picture of communicating with our clients. Now, basic rules needs to be established when communicating with clients. Now, establish basic rules. Take your time. Stay relevant. What else? Schedule routine client communication. Consider their comfort zones. Add a personal touch to your client communication. Push back the right way when needed. Then also the ability to be able to self-correct is important when communicating with clients. Now, in establishing basic rules, it is important to know that if you are running a medium to large company, you should set clear guidelines for how employees interact with clients. You should provide training and expectations for your employees so they know exactly how to prepare for and act in meetings. You will want to also have clear rules for how your company manages email communications with clients. Be simple, be fun, enjoy the process. When you have a company email, one basic rule is communication with clients should not be encouraged on personal emails for company communication. These clear expectations also make it easier to substitute one employee for another when something happens. This is since everyone has a clear understanding of the rules. Number 2, taking your time. When getting ready to meet with the client, ensure you do your homework. It is important that for new or potential clients, do as much research about the client and their needs as possible until you are completely familiar with them. If it is a long-standing client, review their file and talk to anyone else in the company who may have dealt with them in the past. For new and potential clients, consider giving them some homework to do. An example could be that you ask them to answer a general questionnaire or survey that gives you a better understanding of their business requirements. Finally, make certain you allocate enough time to truly have a good discussion, not stereotypical discussions. Staying relevant. Beyond the preparation you are doing to understand the client, ensure that you have a solid working knowledge of everything that your business has to offer. It doesn't make sense going before a client and not having good grasp of what you have to offer them. Now, a client will most likely patronize you when they are convinced beyond a doubt that you understand your business and you understand what you bring to the table. Now, when they are convinced beyond a doubt that you understand your business and you understand how you intend to add value to them, you have won them over 70%. So, staying relevant. Be as familiar with your company service, its prices, and the time it takes to deliver the goods to the clients. Brag about it, but be humble while doing that. Anything that you cannot state by memory, you should have written down or otherwise readily available. Finally, when meeting with clients or communicating with them through email, don't waste their time. Be quick, be precise, and stay on the topic. Now, scheduling routine client communications. Develop a system of communications to help your clients keep your company in the forefront of their mind. Develop a communication plan that provides them information, most likely in emails, which helps them to stay connected. That's the key. Stay connected. Being in the face of your clients. Be in their face as politely and constantly as you can be. Consider having your sales team reach out to established clients after a certain period. It is when you expect they may need your company's service again. Be available. Finally, use your social media presence to keep your company and its service at the top of their news feed. Consider their comfort zones. Everyone has different communication preferences. It is important to consider clients' comfort zones when determining how to contact them. For instance, I remember in the past, there are people who have had business dealings with, and to an extent, I almost took offense in reaching out to people on phone who don't pick their calls, and they don't bother to call back. Now, that was because I didn't understand my clients. I didn't understand their comfort zones. Until I understood that what I felt was difficult for them to do was the easiest way to communicate with them. So I got to understand that my clients, some of them who don't like to pick their calls, probably have very busy schedules, and the last thing they need is distraction with their phones. So their phones are usually on silent, but they respond very quickly and very fast to their emails and to their SMSs. So when I discovered that with them, I barely ever call them, except they call me. So knowing what your clients, your customers' comfort zones are in communication is very, very important. Sometimes your clients will give you hints about which method of communication they prefer, and sometimes you may have to ask them. But communicating is a way that is the most comfortable way. Ask them communicating in a way that is the most comfortable for them will help improve your relationship. Now, another thing that will also mention, or that is worthy of mention in considering your client comfort zone, is to ask them, is it okay to remind you? Is it okay at the end of every conversation? Just confirm, especially if it's a voice conversation where you, a telephone conversation, ask them, is it okay to call you back tomorrow? Is it okay to remind you on Monday? Is it okay to SMS you to remind you on social day? Now, it's polite and it's good when you ask, rather than just calling them out or calling them up. Now, adding a personal touch to your client's communication is also important. Don't underestimate the power of personalized messages. When establishing and building a relationship, whenever it is a handwritten note, thanking them for their business, or an email with a link to an article you thought they'd find interesting or helpful, a small gesture can go a very long way. Thoughtfulness is the key. You can't simply send a generic note with a client's name at the top, since that will cause the note to lose its effects quickly. Similarly, sending an email with a link to a piece of content will prove ignorant. I don't know if you get this. Sending an email with a list of contents. Now, when you send an email, or when you send communication to your clients, make it client specific. Make it you're specific to them. Specific to them. Now, and if you have a link, before giving them a link, just let the mail or the communication be very on target, on point, so that the link will just be an additional information, not the meat of the gist in a link, because most likely the client may not click on the link that you provide in the mail. So, however, a note or email that shows you are listening to what they want and are actively trying to help them will strengthen your relationship with your clients. Now, another important thing is learning to push back the right way. Disagreeing with the clients can seem like an impossible task, since it may look like a lose-lose scenario. Either you insult them by pushing back on their ideas, or you agree with them even when you know those ideas aren't what is right for their business. When you know the client will be making a mistake if they follow through with an idea, you are obliged to try and steer them in the right direction, but it must be handled carefully to avoid damaging your relationship with your clients. Be gentle and offer lots of information behind your decision. Give them plenty of facts and figures to prove your points, but do so in a way that allows them to make up their own mind, rather than forcing your ideas down their throats and expecting them to go along with it just because you said so. Done in the right way, disagreements can prove to be your clients. Done in the right way, disagreements can prove to your clients rather that you really do care about them, you really do care about seeing their business succeed, and that you won't blindly agree with them about everything. It also places you high up in their lists of faithful and loyal clients. Now, the ability to self-correct is key also, and that will be the last thing we'll be touching in this topic. You will never improve your client's communication if you do not get feedback. Now, feedback should be routinely asked. Your clients should feed you back to know what their expectations are, to know if they are satisfied with your services. Routinely ask your clients how they rate your interaction with your company. If you don't ask how they feel or how they rate their interaction with your company, you generally won't know how they feel. You probably assume they are satisfied and okay, not knowing their discontent at some point or at some part of the interaction with you. If you are running a medium or large business where you don't always get to interact with your clients, consider designing a questionnaire for them to complete, or have someone designated to follow up with them. Now, this is very important because anytime you lose a client, especially one you have had a long-standing relationship with, you will want to do everything possible to determine what happened. Could the collapse of the relationship have something to do with anything your company could do better with client communication? Thank you very much. As we come to the end of this class, I would like you to stay connected, go through the video over and over until we come to the final lesson number 4, and also prepare to take the group discussion and the test that will be coming up within the week. Thank you. Till I come your way again, this is Tunde Odeyinde. Thank you and goodbye.